What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? This will be my first video kicking off my channel. I'll be discussing different topics of scripture and commonly practiced traditions of men to see if they line up with the scriptures, the word of Yahweh. You'll have to forgive me if I sound stopped up, because lately the pollen count, just like gas prices, are high through the roof. First video I want to talk about foundations, but specifically scriptural and spiritual foundations. Common sense will tell you when you're building a house, you don't start from the roof and build down, you build up. You pour a good concrete slab and you go from there. Same goes for scripture. You can't start reading at Revelations and read backwards and expect to grab the full understanding of what the scripture is talking about. You can't start at Matthew either and just read the New Testament. You need to start at the foundation, which is the Torah, Genesis. The definition of the word Torah in itself is teachings and instructions. So when we read the Torah, we study the Torah, we get teachings and instructions on how we should live our lives. If you look at 1 John 2:6, it talks about the Messiah's example, and we should walk in his example, and he walked perfectly in the Torah. So if we follow Torah, we're following in his example. There's a cool thing about the word Torah is there's a Hebrew word in the middle of Torah, which is or, O-R, which means light. And that's really cool in the context of Proverbs 6:23. It says, "For the command is a lamp, and the Torah a light, and reproofs of discipline a way of life." So if we walk in the Torah, we practice what the Torah teaches, we're walking in light. If we don't, what are we walking in? Now there's some out there that might say, well, the law don't apply to me because I'm a Gentile. Scripture disagrees with that statement. Exodus 12:49 says, "There's one Torah for the native born and for the sojourner who sojourns among you." Numbers 15:16 is very similar. One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. If you go over to Isaiah 56, it has some similar verses to those. It talks about the foreigner, sons of the foreigner. I'll be reading Isaiah 56:3-7. "And let not the son of the foreigner who has joined himself to Yahweh speaking, saying, Yahweh has certainly separated me from his people, nor let the eunuch say, Look, I am a dry tree. For thus said Yahweh to the eunuchs who guard my Sabbaths, and have chosen what pleases me, and hold fast to my covenant. To them I shall give in my house, and within my walls a place, and a name better than that of sons and daughters. I give them an everlasting name that is not cut off. And the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahweh, to serve him, and to love the name of Yahweh, to be his servants, all who guard the Sabbath, and not profane it, and hold fast to my covenant. Them I shall bring to my set-apart mountain, and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their slaughterings are accepted on my altar, for my house is called a house of prayer for all the peoples." We read those last three words again. All the peoples. Everybody. So if you're new to reading scripture, my suggestion to you is start reading in the Torah, in Genesis. Start at the beginning. Start yourself with a good spiritual scripture foundation. Now just because I say start reading in Genesis I'm not saying that you shouldn't have faith in the Messiah or read the New Testament. I highly disagree with that statement. It's important to have a faith and relationship with the Messiah also, and read about his life and see what he taught, which was to walk in the Torah. Shalom.